Bado tuko Bali na tunaenda wapi? Bali.
Good evening and welcome to Catholic Focus here on Capuchin TV. I'm Maureen Kimani and our signed language interpreter is Charity Ngema. We begin our highlights with Pope Leo XIV, who during his weekly general audience reflected on the significance of Holy Saturday, urging the faithful to trust in God's power at work, even in times of waiting, silence, and seeming hopelessness.
Dear brothers and sisters, in our journey of catechesis on Jesus our hope, today we will contemplate the mystery of Holy Saturday. The Son of God lies in the tomb, but this absence of his is not emptiness, it is expectation, a restrained fullness, a promise kept in the dark. It is the day of the great silence, in which the sky seems mute and the earth immobile. But it is precisely there that the deepest mystery of the Christian faith is fulfilled. It is a silence laden with meaning, like the womb of a mother who carries her unborn but already living child. The body of Jesus taken down from the cross is carefully wrapped, as one does with something precious. But it is precisely in that silence that the new life begins to ferment, like a seed in the ground, like the darkness before dawn. God is not afraid of the passing time, because he is also the God of waiting. Thus even our useless time, that of pauses, emptiness, barren moments, can become the womb of resurrection. Every silence that is welcomed can be the premise of a new word. Every suspended time can become a time of grace if we offer it to God.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Fikirini Jacobs, has revealed that the government is fast-tracking efforts to protect youth innovation as a way of boosting creative solutions for employment generation. Here is the report.
Speaking during the launch of the African Youth Pathways to Resilience and System Change, AYPRS, forum organized by the Partnership for African Social and Governance Research, PSGR, in collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation, Fikirini emphasized that young people have the potential to find innovative solutions to global challenges.
That young people at entry level in most cases lack basic skills like communication skills, financial literacy, emotional intelligence, or even experience which can be best addressed by issues which the government has rolled out, internship, and we're working around the volunteer policy as well.
He further disclosed that in the 2024-2025 financial year, the government has supported 306 young innovators, established 266 innovation spaces, and partnered with 250 organizations to advance young-led innovation. Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang called on the government to create systems that encourage competition among employers to attract young talent rather than forcing youth to struggle alone in pursuit of scarce job opportunities.
That we should not be proud about exporting low-quality jobs. When you go to the Gulf countries, you'll find our people are the ones who are watchmen, you'll find our people are the ones who are working as domestic workers. Fine, we say kazi ni kazi, because this government said kazi ni kazi. But we must also build in some dignity when it comes to that kazi ni kazi. If right now diaspora remittances is our largest forex earner, bigger than tea, bigger than horticulture, what does it say about us? What is it that we produce as a country? We produce labor and we produce high quality labor.
Youth participants at the forum expressed the need for respect and inclusion in the workspaces.
About research, ni vizuri sana tufanye research and mostly kuambatana na wanalika, ni wengi wamesoma universities, colleges na hata wengine wameenda even to the local polytechnics ambako wamesoma masomo tofauti. Tutapopata hii research itafanya Wakenya waweze kulinganisha research wamepata na zile policies wanatengeneza kuhusu employment.
Cynthia Mbite, a participant living with disability, shared her concern about frequent discrimination in the workplace.
Kama mimi mlemavu, naweza sema dignified and fulfilling work ni kazi yenye uko comfortable, yenye unapewa respect, yenye unatambulika na yenye pia umekubalika kuifanya. Kwa Kenya sasa siku hizi mahali kwingi hatutambuliki kama sisi walemavu kama tunaweza fanya kazi vizuri na ionekane kama tumefanya.
Dignified work means to me a work that pays workers well, a work that respects workers' rights and voices, and also a workspace that gives workers rights to belong to trade unions and freely associate in the different organizations.
People actually have aspiration. They want a job that can sustain them, but also in which they can be respected, seen, heard. So from that point of view, a job is not a job, because if you're only doing a job because it's the only thing you have, that's not a choice. So you want to do it from the point of view of something that you like, that you love, that speak to your values, and that you can be committed to. And as you heard, some of them said, not only I want to have a good salary, I also want to have time to spend with my family. So I not to be spending hourless, number of hours in the office. I also need to be able to take care of myself. So this is why we're listening to different point of view. Different people may have different definition. Ultimately, the policy making should take into account those different views and provide facilities for each of them to get to what they define as fulfilling and dignified job.
Reporting from Capuchin TV, Catholic Focus, I'm John Beja.
Moving on, leaders across the country have appealed to young people to scale down protest and uphold peace, emphasizing that a stable environment is essential for national development and economic recovery. The call was made during the burial of Samuel Gatama, a respected community leader and former chairman of the Gatundu Water and Sewerage Company in Gitari Village, Gatundu South. Paris Omboy has the details. We apologize for that. We'll be getting back to that story by Paris Wangombe. And now moving on, Voi Member of Parliament Honorable Kamis Adi Chome has announced the successful completion of several development projects funded through the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, reaffirming his commitment to prioritizing education in the constituency. Gabriel Mokoma reports. Short break. Stay with us. Mahujaji wa matumaini pamoja katika sala. Wakristo wapendwa, nyote mnaalikwa kwenye maombi ya kitaifa ya kila mwaka itakayofanyika eneo la Marian Shrine, Subuki ya jimbo la Nakuru, Jumamosi tarehe 4 mwezi wa 10 mwaka huu.
Kama kawaida tunajumuika kwa pamoja kuombea nchi yetu, kuombea kila mmoja wetu, kuombea kanisa letu, kuombea nchi nzima na ulimwengu wote ili tuweze kuishi kwa amani. Kiini chetu cha mwaka huu ni kutembea kwa pamoja kama mahujaji ambao wako na matumaini. Tuwe na matumaini katika yote yale ambayo tunafanya ili tuweze kuifanya upya nchi yetu na kufanya mambo mapya tukiwa na matumaini. Kuna mengi ya kutufanya tukate tamaa. Tunaalikwa tusikate tamaa, tuwe na matumaini kila wakati kwa sababu Kristo ako nasi na matumaini hayatawahi kamwe kutuangusha. Hope never disappoints. Tutumainie yale makubwa, tuishi vyema kwa wakati huu ambao tuko hapa na tarajie mema mazuri ambao yaja. Lakini kwa kutembea kwa pamoja, kuwainua wale wako chini, uwashike mkono, umuinue.
Baraza la Maaskofu wa Katoliki nchini wanahimiza Wakristo kuwa na imani thabiti kupitia maombi ili wafanikiwe katika maisha yao.
Na tuwe na trust kwa mmoja na mwingine ili tuweze kuifanya Kenya nchi nzuri, mahali ambapo kila mmoja ako nayo matumaini. Kuwa mtu wa kuleta matumaini kwa wale wengine kwa maneno yako na kwa matendo yako.
Hafla ya maombi ya kitaifa itapeperushwa moja kwa moja kwenye runinga ya Capuchin pamoja na mitandao yetu ya kijamii.
Tuje kwa wingi, tulete wengine na tumuombe Mungu ili atujalie mahitaji yetu kama familia, kama kanisa, kama jimbo, kama nchi yote na kwa ulimwengu mzima. Mungu awabariki na karibuni nyote.
Tazama maisha yangu mimi ya kuwajamia kwa baraka ninazozipata toka kwako. Ninashindwa hata kueleza penzi lako Bwana, ni neema za ajabu kwangu toka kwako.
Endelea kutazama Capuchin TV, kitambulisho Katoliki.
Shukuru Bwana milele nitakuzi. Sifa zangu zitoka moyoni mwangu. Nakushukuru Bwana milele nitakuzi. Sifa zangu zitoka moyoni mwangu.
My dear brothers and sisters, friends and all people of goodwill, peace be with you all. My name is Father Arnold Shirema. I am the superior of the Capuchin Brothers in Kenya. On 11th October 2025, the Capuchin Brothers will have Family Day celebration and annual fundraising. The fundraising is aimed at raising funds to support the construction of Capuchin TV headquarters in Karen. You are cordially invited to celebrate with us and support us financially. The Holy Mass will begin at 10 a.m., followed by the fundraising. You can send your financial support to our Mpesa Paybill number 7062124. Account's name, put your name. May God bless you all and all your families. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Nakushukuru Bwana milele nitakuzi. Sifa zangu zitoka moyoni
Like, share, follow and subscribe to Capuchin TV channels. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity channel.
Thank you for joining us, and we kindly apologize for that technical hitch. Moving on, we embark on the story from Paris Wangombe in Gatondo South. Leaders across the country have appealed to young people to scale down protest and uphold peace, emphasizing that a stable environment is essential for national development and economic recovery. The call was made during the burial of Samuel Gatama, a respected community leader and former chairman of the Gatondo Water and Sewerage Company in Gitari Village, Gatondo South. Paris Wamboy has the details.
Speaking to mourners, Reverend MP Simon Kingara and other local and national figures stressed that unrest disrupts socio-economic progress and urged citizens to engage constructively with government efforts to implement development projects.
Shukuru wa Kenya wote hasa chipukizi au wanarika kwa sababu wametulia na wametupatia nafasi ya kufikiria na kuona ni vipi tunaweza panua kikazi maisha yao, kwa sababu kama hakuna vita nasi tunapata nafasi ya kuwashughulikia. Na niwaambie, na wakati tunakuwa na furugu viwanda vyote vimefungwa, na ni wakati kuna furugu wakituona kwa barabara na kuingineko, kazi ni kupungua inapungua. Kwa hivyo mimi niwaombe wanarika na watu wote, tafadhali kwa unyenyekevu mwingi mno mkubali tuwahudumie, na ile kazi mtupatia miaka 5, tafadhali mkubali tumalize hiyo kazi, alafu mwishowe mtuuliza maswali.
At the same time, opposition leaders led by Sovinga wa Bibiana highlighted concerns over alleged corruption, warning that such practices could undermine progress.
Mambo ya kwenda State House kila siku kila wakati, hii bado ni corruption. Hii pesa imetoka wapi? Hii pesa haikuwa kwa budget. Ilianza na vijana, walialeta wahubiri wote, wamemaliza na wahubiri, sasa wako kwa walimu. Kutoka kwa walimu sijui wataenda wapi, tutatoshea huko. Kwa hivyo hii mambo ya State House, kama kuna corruption ambayo imeenda na imetustua sisi, ni corruption ya State House. Hiyo kitu ya kwanza kuonyeshana kwamba vile watu wanaitwa kuhongwa huko.
Gatama was celebrated for his integrity, leadership and dedication to improving water and sanitation services, leaving behind a legacy of civic responsibility and community development. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Paris Wangombe.
In other news, a Voi Member of Parliament, Honorable Hamis Adi Chome, has announced the successful completion of several development projects funded through the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, reforming his commitment to prioritizing education in the constituency. Gabriel Mokoma reports.
Official opening ceremony of a modern science laboratory at Gazi Primary School in Goliawad, Voi Member of Parliament Hamis Abdi Chome has said that investing in education is a key step towards improving the lives of residents in Voi and empowering young people through better learning opportunities.
Kitu kikubwa tuliona watoto wetu tunapewa basari, na kwa uchache tangu nichukue hatamu, basari ambazo tumetoa sio kwa wodi hii lakini kwa shule hizi: Alan Mjomba, David Kayanda, Jack Mwashimba, John Mark na Wahogo, paka leo ni 5,232,000. Lakini hatujataja wale watoto wa Ngolia wanaosoma Voi, wanaosoma Mwakitaba, wanaosoma Kasigau, wanaosoma Alliance. Tukitaja hiyo yote kwa kila mwaka huwa tunatoa, kwa sababu hizi ni shule zetu ziko karibu. Nimeona tu nijumuishe, lakini niko na takwimu za namba ya wanafunzi na kadhalika.
Gabriel Mokoma, Taita Taveta County.
Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has inaugurated newly appointed council members at Kenyatta University, reaffirming the government's commitment to sustainable higher education. The CS emphasized reforms to strengthen governance and ease the financial burden on students, while assuring the government backing on universities. Our reporter David Kiprotich has this report.
Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba today presided over the inauguration of newly appointed and reappointed Council of Members at Kenyatta University. Speaking at the event, the CS stressed the central role of university councils in steering institutions through ongoing education reforms.
Thank the council members and also to congratulate the new council members who've been appointed and those that we've renewed their terms to move to the second term. We decided to come here today to inaugurate the new council and just to have a conversation about the running of the university. As you very well know, we are in the middle of the reforms that we are undertaking in the education sector, and part of those reforms relate to governance of these institutions. And governance starts with the councils, and I just came to congratulate them and to have a conversation with them and to encourage them that the government is 100% behind them so that they can undertake their mandate without fear or favor.
Ogamba revealed that when the current administration took office, 23 out of 43 universities were technically insolvent. That figure has since reduced to 14, with a target of full sustainability within the next 2 to 3 years. Key to its progress is the student-centered funding model, which has lowered fees by 15% and 40% and improved payment compliance. At Kenyatta University, more than 9,500 of the 10,480 newly admitted students have already paid their fees. The CS assured that no deserving student will be locked out of higher education learning due to financial hardships, with the government stepping in to cover the remaining portion of unpaid fees.
Admitted 3,578 students. Out of those, only 119 have not paid their fees, which means the programs that we've introduced are now bearing fruit, and people are comfortable paying the fees that has been allocated to them. As I indicated the other day, continue saying no student who deserves to be in the university and who needs to be in the university will miss their position because of their status in life.
Looking ahead, a national conference will be held in Mombasa next week to align university and tertiary education programs with job market demands. Kenyatta University Council Chairman Dr. Ben Chumo welcomed the new members and applauded the government's support, noting that Kenyatta University, with nearly 50,000 students, remains a pillar of Kenya's higher education system. Ogamba also disclosed that the ministry is verifying school and student data nationwide to ensure accurate capitation disbursement and evidence-based decision-making.
Number of schools that we have, and of course this came about because there was an audit that was done and released by the Auditor General that was indicating that the figures that have been there within the last 4 years may not reflect the correct position that is in the market. So that verification exercise has been going on, and as of yesterday, we had verified a total of over 15,000 schools. What we are doing is we are verifying the number of learners we have in each school, how many learners are in each grade, whether female or male, and then once we complete that exercise, we release the resources to those schools every day in the evening. So that exercise is going on. We've shared with the heads of institutions and they are aware about where we are.
He thanked the media for applying reforms and pledged continued transparency and accountability in the education sector. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Kiprotich David.
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has outlined a raft of security and social concerns affecting Kenyans at grassroots level. Speaking in Homa Bay County during the Jukwaa la Usalama Forum, marking World Identity Day, the CS pledged firm action against defilement, drug abuse, criminal gangs, and harassment of journalists and fishermen. Here is Asasha Elizabeth with that report.
Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen says Kenya must confront deeply rooted social ills to secure its future.
Like the rest of the counties in the western part of the country and Nyanza, defilement remains a very serious issue, even all the way to Bomet. Many of the children that are defiled are actually affected mostly during holidays.
He decried the rising cases of defilement and gender-based violence, urging chiefs and communities to support law enforcement.
We will, during the Jukwaa itself, we will engage our chiefs and assistant chiefs to see how best we can engage community, particularly those who try to resolve these problems using alternative dispute resolution mechanism. These are high crimes. We do not want community to hide the perpetrators. Some of the reasons why they hide them is because they are relatives, and they are people who have a fiduciary responsibility to protect these young people, whether they are teachers, religious leaders, family members, and we want to make sure that the entire society is supporting the law enforcement agencies in dealing with cases of defilement and gender-based violence, which is also affecting many parts of our country.
Murkomen also warned against drug and alcohol abuse that continues to waste lives and frustrate families.
People are suffering. Families are losing their loved ones. Young people, we are getting wasted at a very prime age. Some of whom are very educated. They would have been contributing to national development, thinking, research, and so forth. And that's why I told you that we are insisting on multi-agency approach to make sure that this is done. And through Jukwaa la Usalama, we want to engage the wananchi to ensure that there is greater support, and particularly the chiefs and assistant chiefs and the OCSs work together so that they can be able to get rid of this menace.
The CS further condemned attacks on journalists in Homa Bay, linking them to the wider menace of gangs and political goons across the country.
This is the very problem we're dealing with of goons and gangs. And it was a very unfortunate situation that some of government officials have been implicated at the county level. This is not an isolated case for Homa Bay. It's happening across. In Kisii, for example, we were told that even the gangs had a particular place where they pick people and torture them. And so we will be taking very stern legal action, arresting these people and taking them to court. And we continue requesting for cooperation of our judiciary to make sure that they get severest punishment and the trials are expedited so that people can get justice.
On Lake Victoria, Murkomen admitted tension between security agencies and fishermen, calling for structured engagement to eliminate harassment and corruption.
What is called harassment sometimes is when the Coast Guards take very stern action. But and we need to improve that support. So maybe we need meetings between the fishermen and the law enforcement agencies along the lake, and we need understanding and cooperation from the beach management unit and members. But of course, where cases are very viable of unjustified use of force, where people are asking for bribes, or any illegalities committed by law enforcement agencies, we encourage members of the public to report them, either to the IG or the higher command, or also to IPOA.
The Interior CS said Jukwaa la Usalama will be rolled out nationally to promote dialogue between citizens and security agencies. Asasha Elizabeth, reporting for the Catholic Focus, Capuchin TV.
Kenya has launched the National Agroforestry Strategy 2025-2035 to conserve the Mau Forest and restore damaged land. The plan, aligned with the President's 15 billion tree agenda, aims to protect biodiversity, create jobs and boost livelihoods.
The restoration
will have a ripple effect to the greater Horn of Africa, the Somalia, Ethiopia, South Sudan region, Uganda, and the rest. A ripple effect to the East African community and ultimately to Africa. And we know when Kenya leads, Africa follows.
The Mau Forest Complex is Kenya's largest montane forest and a vital water tower for the country, supplying water to major rivers and lakes such as the Mara River, which flows into Lake Victoria. Despite its immense ecological importance for biodiversity conservation and water regulation, the forest faces grave threats from human encroachment, illegal logging, and unplanned settlements. These activities have led to massive forest loss, increased flooding, and drying up of critical water sources. As a way of finding lasting solutions to save the forest, various stakeholders came together in a joint event in Nairobi today. According to the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Dr. Deborah Barasa, the initiative aligned with the President's agenda of planting 15 billion trees by 2031 is not only aimed at conserving forests but also improving livelihoods.
That the President has set forth a defining vision. The 15 billion tree growing campaign is a clarion call, not just about planting trees, but about healing our degraded lands, restoring watersheds, improving livelihoods, and building climate resilience. The 15 billion tree growing is an economic shield. It is a social contract and a moral obligation to each one of us. Every tree is a promise of hope. Food set on every table, roof over our heads, job for the vulnerable, the women and the youth, clean water for our families, and a resilient economy. But to realize this vision, we also need to understand that restoration is not a destination. It is a journey. It is not a fragmented event, but different events intertwined to build up a bigger and better ecosystem.
She emphasized that every tree species contributes uniquely to human health and environmental balance. In addition to addressing ongoing destruction, the CS highlighted the Mau forest as a critical habitat for diverse species and underscored the collective responsibility of protecting it.
Despite the hashes of illegal logging, of encroaching, where half of the forest or even more was lost, it stood strong. It is the last tropical rainforest in Kenya, preserving genetics, species, and ecological lineages unique to the Guinea-Congolian region is the Kakamega forest. And the Yala Isihu is a watershed that feeds the lake, sustaining fisheries, farmers, and millions of households. But because of erosion, pollution, and deforestation, this has threatened the cradle of biodiversity. And restoration is really critical in this area because it's going to bring economic boost and it's going to bring survival of the rainforest as well as prosperity of the biodiversity. And then we rise to the Mount Elgon, a towering sight to behold, shared amongst Kenyans and Ugandans. Its water towers back the Nzoia and the Takwel River, which in turn drives livelihood. It feeds nations. It nurtures lives for people and wildlife, the colobus monkeys, the elephants, the antelopes, among others.
She further noted that conservation of the Mau forest is essential for sustaining peace, adequate water, and the prosperity of the nation.
Its restoration again will increase and secure more than 50 billion to the households, guarantee water, peace, and prosperity. But at the heart of Kenya lies the Mau Forest Complex, which we are talking about today, our largest water tower, the heartbeat of rivers, feeding Lake Victoria, the Mara, Nakuru, and the Rift Valley. It powers our hydropower stations, nourishes our tea estates, sustains our tourism economy. And restoring Mau is not just an environmental duty, It is an economic necessity. It is an economic insurance, protecting GDP growth, securing food systems, and guaranteeing national energy stability. And so we'll also be reinforcing the Great Green Wall vision that we have for Africa, a regional shield that will be fighting hunger, migration, and conflict within our region. Restoration will generate to 50 billion Kenya shillings annually, and again improve survival and continental stability.
Dr. Barasa also presided over the launch of Kenya National Agroforestry Strategy 2025 to 2035 and the Kenya Landscape and Ecosystem Restoration Monitoring Framework.
It's not just about beautiful documents. It's about implementation. It's about changing lives, improving livelihoods. So it is an agenda of the people's prosperity, Kenyans' prosperity. It rests on 6 strong pillars: the policy, legal, and institutional frameworks, the finance and investment, education, research, innovation, and knowledge management, agroforestry value chain development, climate change action, gender, youth, and social inclusion. Through it, we will establish 5 million acres of woodlots in our drylands, modernize the charcoal value chain, support youth-led briquettes, and again create incentives for farmers who make trees part of their harvest. Again, it will help us achieve the 30% tree coverage. And again, it will help nourish families, secure nutrition, and create new jobs.
The event brought together partners from various organizations and highlighted the importance of trees, job creation and opportunities for youth, as well as best practices in managing Kenya's natural resources. The launch was also described as a platform for creating employment for young people and improving agriculture at large.
Opportunities where we can create jobs for our people and they create wealth for this country and improve the economic status of this country. For every tree that we grow, it has value. It is a job opportunity. And more so, it's a wealth creation opportunity. So we should not be very sad, but we should also look at the other side of it. How can we use this opportunity to empower our youth? How can we use this opportunity to empower everybody in the country and they also improve the status of this country?
The program, which seeks to restore degraded lands and protect natural ecosystems, will be officially rolled out in October this year. Save Mau, Improve Lives. Deborah Mwania, Capuchin TV, Catholic Focus, Nairobi.
As families across the country grapple with mounting social and economic pressures, women are rising to the challenge, taking on leadership roles to restore unity, moral values, and stability at home. In Nairobi, the Family Peace Association Kenya, together with partners including Zetech University and the College of Human Resource Management, convened the first ever National Community Forum to examine the root cause of family breakdowns, their far-reaching impacts and possible long-term solutions. Our reporter Geoffrey Omari attended the meeting and filed the following report.
In a powerful step towards building the family as the core foundation of society, this forum brought together government officials, civil society organizations, and education stakeholders to cooperate on practical solutions. The chief guest Cabinet Secretary for Gender, Honorable Anna Cheptumo, emphasized the importance of societal values and unity, urging Kenyans to uphold family principles as a path towards meaningful national development.
Family, as is the basis or the basic foundation of a nation, and the family is made up of children. It's made up of men and women, and it is the basis of the society, as I said earlier. And therefore, the discussion that we had today is how do we go back to ensuring that our families live together, they stay together, they eat together, and it can only be done when we have these kind of forums. And as a Ministry of Gender, Culture and Children's Services, we speak about family a lot, because we talk about gender. Gender talks about men and women. In a culture that promotes cohesiveness, a culture that promotes respect and giving one another a space to live safely and in a protected way, where children go to school, where children are nurtured, and even where we have children who are living with disabilities, they are taken care of by their families.
The CS also called on parents and community leaders to work together in restoring the family structure and the traditional values.
As a government, we are speaking to everyone. You know, religious meetings or organizations is where people are. So we are saying in any forum, whether it is in a church or in a mosque or anywhere where human beings are, we are saying speak positively, speak for the government, speak for the family, because without family there is no government. So we encourage that kind of a conversation. Like now on Sunday, I was in a women conference where we had about 1,000 women who attended, and I said we want to have ambassadors of people of that particular group speaking out, and they were from all over the country. So they go out and then they speak about the good things that the government is doing, but also to encourage positive talk, because it begins at home, it begins in the school, it begins in the church. So we all speak positively about our nation, about our families, about the society, then finally we shall have a stable society.
From the private sector, Dr. Gilda Odera, President of the Federation of Kenyan Employers, FKE, urged women to be bearers of hope, especially for young people growing up in difficult environments.
Because I said, if we as women can stand up and speak positively and speak well and watch our language, there'd be a change. I cannot imagine myself here as Gilda, being around my children since they're young and really using foul language. What do I expect? Ladies, what do you expect? Your children will throw that back at you. And then you wonder, where did this come from? It was you. It was your voice. And when they throw it back at you, then there's conflict, because you're saying, how dare you talk to me like that? I'm your mother. But what did they hear? Then there's conflict. But where did that conflict start from? The way you were speaking. In your house. In those closed four walls, you think nobody else is hearing you other than these children. But you're planting those seeds. Ladies, our voices plant seeds.
The High Court Judge Karen Kendagol encouraged Kenyans to embrace open dialogue as a key method to prevent family disputes from escalating into legal battles.
So let's change the narrative. I think if we are looking at it in terms of peace, let us look at other avenues that can help us address the disputes that we have. Not all the disputes that are there need to come to court. Most of the disputes, we can sort them out using other mechanisms, which give us a very nice experience compared to the adversarial process that we have. It is cost effective. It gives you an opportunity to be able to address the real issue in dispute compared to the rulings and judgments that may come from court. But in the event that you end up in court, we are ready to resolve your dispute.
Also speaking at the event, Mr. James Okoba Mekenye, Director of Women Outreach and Family Education, praised the initiative as the beginning of a movement to restore dignity and the calm within the families.
Asante. Kwa majina naitwa James Okoba Mekenye. I'm in charge of programs, that's program coordinator, Family Peace Association. Leo tumekuwa na mkutano ya wamama kuongea kuhusu maadili katika familia zetu, na tumekuwa na mjadala mingi sana ambayo familia ama wamama wanapitia wakiwa katika familia, na pia tumekuwa na wakati mzuri sana kurejelea pia hali inavyofaa kuwa katika familia zetu. So imekuwa ni mkutano ambao ni wa kipekee kama shirika. Tunashukuru sana maana hatujai kuwa na mkutano kama huu ndio wa kwanza, na pia tunanuia ya kwamba kuendelea mbele mwezi wa 11 kuelekea hapo mpaka mwakani tutakuwa na mikutano katika kila region za Kenya, zile majimbo za kitambo, provinces, ambapo tutakuwa na breakfast meeting ya wamama, ili basi tupate kufikia wale wamama mashinani wajue jinsi watakavyorejesha maadili kwa familia, jinsi watakavyosaidiana kulea watoto, na jinsi watakavyokaa na amani wakiwa kwa familia baina ya baba na mama. Hiyo ndio madhumuni yetu kama shirika, kuhakikisha ya kwamba kunayo amani, kunayo njia mwafaka ya kusuluhisha migongano ama mtafaruku wanapotokea katika familia ama katika jamii. Mambo ni mengi yanayotokea, tusipokaa chini, tusipokuwa na nafasi ya kuongea, basi hatuwezi kuwa na taifa. Ndio maana leo tukasema ya kwamba tulite pamoja wamama ambao wana vyeo mbalimbali, wamama ambao ni viongozi katika nyanja mbalimbali, na tunashukuru maana tumewaona. Hata kuwa na waziri wa jinsia mahali hapa imekuwa jambo la maana sana. So tunashukuru sana, imekuwa wakati mzuri kabisa.
Clearly, solving the challenges facing modern families will require unified efforts from all sectors of society. There is a growing hope that more forums like this will spark a renewed commitment to family values and a moral leadership starting from the home. Reporting for Capuchin TV Catholic Focus, my name is Geoffrey Omare.
What an inspiring story of women leading the way to stronger families and healthier communities. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Catholic Focus. Thank you for watching. I'm Maureen Kimani, and our signed language interpreter has been Charity Ngema. Until next time, stay informed with Capuchin TV.
Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel. You are watching Capuchin TV. For any complaints, comments, or compliments on our programming, you can either write to us on info@capuchintv.co.ke, or you can call us directly on 0717 424 866. Your complaint shall be addressed within 7 days. Remember to keep a copy of your communication with us. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.
The Catholic Diocese of Machakos, through the Catholic Women Association Strong in Faith, warmly invites all women to the St. Monica Celebration Mass. This special event is a time to come together in faith, unity, and thanksgiving, honoring St. Monica's inspiring legacy. The celebration will take place on 20th September 2025, starting from 9 a.m. held at the Catoloni Pope Paul Seminary Ground. The Mass will be presided over by Right Reverend Norman Kingo Wambua, Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Machakos. This event will be brought to you live on Capuchin TV and across on our social media platforms. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity channel.
Najivunia kuwa mama Mkatoliki, tena najivunia kuwa mama mlezi. Somo wetu mama Monica tunakuenzi. Nia njema tufunze somo wetu Monica. Twawashangilia mama, kila mama oye. Najivunia kila mama oye. Najivunia kila mama oye. Najivunia kila mama oye. Najivunia mama mama. Najivunia.
The General Councils of the Society of Missionaries of Africa, the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Africa, in conjunction with the Lavijari Lay Missionary Association of Kenya and Tangaza University, invite you to a historic celebration, the Symposium on the Legacy of Cardinal Charles Lavijari, taking place on 20th of September 2025 at Tangaza University. This event marks the bicentenary of the birth of the Cardinal Lavijari, the founder of the Missionaries of Africa and the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Africa, and a passionate defender of human dignity. Beginning at 9 a.m. with a Holy Mass celebrated by His Grace Archbishop Philip Anyolo and graced by the presence of His Excellency Van Megan, the Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya. The day will feature enriching panel discussions on Cardinal Lavijari's legacy, including his role in founding women congregations, promoting women, supporting holistic development through Catholic missions, and fostering dialogue with Muslims. Come and be inspired by his mission, vision, and enduring commitment to the African people. Save the date for a passionate and renewed commitment to Africa. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity channel.
Father in heaven, may the faith you've given us in your Son, Jesus Christ, our brother, and the flame of charity enkindled in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, reawaken in us the blessed hope for the coming of your kingdom. May your grace transform us into tireless cultivators of the seeds of the gospel. May those seeds transform from within both humanity and the whole cosmos in the sure expectation of a new heaven and a new earth, when with the powers of evil vanquished, your glory will shine eternally. May the grace of the Jubilee reawaken in us pilgrims of hope, a yearning for the treasures of heaven. May that same grace spread the joy and peace of our Redeemer throughout the earth. To you, our God, eternally blessed be glory and praise forever. Amen.